Okay, lockdown's been a long time though, I can't deny it. This is my 11th week, and we've had it pretty tough here in Bogota.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the first 7 weeks, the first 8 weeks, it was so strict that you could only go to the supermarket or the pharmacy,
Yeah.
and males and females had to go out on alternate days, so it would halve the number of people.
Oh my god.
So
Oh.
it was tough.
That's so like watching the kind of crazy future movies, you know. It's all
Yeah,
this
I know.
just-
It's starting to, well, I mean, it does feel unreal. I mean, it's sort of like this Groundhog Day, thinking, is it a Tuesday or a Wednesday? And you think, the structure of the day
oh my
is
god.
all the same.
That's
And I think
tough.
that's a challenge for a lot of people, I think.
I will start recording if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
In this situation, and Chris, I had to thank you so much for your time. I know you are so busy, man, especially in these moments. Trying to set up a new company from this situation is like a new challenge.
I've got to be honest, it's an intro. I mean, this is my 11th country and 11th time I've done this. But so it actually makes it a challenge. How do you build a corporate culture on Zoom?
Yeah.
You know, it's 60% of the staff I've employed, I've never met each other in person.
Yeah, that's a very challenging thing because
yeah.
How do you have get the feeling of the people if you are doing everything online? It's different.
Yeah, there is something missing, I can't deny, but I think, I mean, there's positive and negatives. I think the Zoom meetings are much more productive because you get to action.
I love that.
You miss a bit more social interaction. And so I'm trying to work out, how do I not just have meetings to make decisions on, which is what a lot of business meetings should be, but how do we pass lifestyle information so that it's not just a job. It's, we're here to change Colombia. We're here to create something special.
Yeah,
and therefore it's not just about taking the right decisions. It's about creating the right culture.
I have a question about this. I remember you told me in one of those dinners we have back in September when you
on the bike ride.
Yeah, oh my God, we have to touch this subject before ending this interview anyway. But I have to ask you this: you told me you spent some time in the place feeling what are the people's needs. You are building a new company, so you start doing some research. How do you do that in this situation? Very specifically pandemic situation that is so different.
Yeah, I got to say that one of my missing points now is, I live in quite a nice area in Bogota, but I need to feel Colombia, and that's not even it's not where I live. It's not even Bogota. It's 50 million people. Yeah. And that's the concern. How do I get in touch with every person or majority of people? That's what I'm a bit concerned at now. Some of that is, the people I'm employing, they teach me. I have small group meetings, 3 or 4 people, where I'm not talking about building a network or building shops, but I'm talking about Colombia. And what's the education system like? What's the health service like? What's the political environment like? What's the social change areas that they believe in this. So I'm learning that way, but in reality, I like to see it and feel it and touch it myself as well, and that I can't do at the moment.
Yeah, I can tell you have this very precise and very deep feeling of Chile, because you know Chile better, probably better than myself.
No, I don't think so.
You pass through every possible city in Chile, almost all
Yeah,
places.
yeah. I mean, when I was at WOM, I visited a lot because of all my staff were in the shops around Chile, and then of course on the bike, I really saw it and felt it. From Arica down to Punta Arenas. So, yeah, I learned a lot, and I think sometimes as a foreigner,
Yeah,
you see more. I mean, I think I see more of Chile or more of Myanmar or
I get it.
more of
Yeah,
Poland than I do of England because I'm English and it sort of goes over the top of me. Whereas I see it with an independent eye when I'm in Chile or Colombia as now. And I think that is quite important. And I think that helps a lot.
yeah, I can tell, because when you share some videos from very specific spots in Chile, you notice something. Uh, and sometimes, as I remember, for example, that beach in Antofagasta, you put the eye on something. Almost the people who lives around having forgetting
Yeah,
forgetting.
yeah. Because they see it, well, they go there every day, but they
Yeah,
don't see it every day. Whereas
yeah.
for me, oh, what's this oil doing here? Why is this here? Why can't it be cleaned?
Oh
What
my
you
God.
know, it's
Th-
something that
Those
when you
videos
don't see it
shock
every
me.
day,
Those videos shock
you
me, because even I'm Chilean. I never know the real story behind this situation. So
yeah.
I think we
I mean,
learn
I
a
learned
lot
so much
from
of
your
that.
work.
I mean, I have to say, when you get to my age, when you get to 60, you've got to do a bike ride. I mean, I've got to be honest.
How do you feel
I look
after
at
all
my
this?
Instagram photos
Yeah,
and I think, and what I learned so much on the bike ride, so much, A, about myself, and B, about Chile, and more importantly, about Chilean people and the localities that I visited. And it
yeah.
was, 60 days of the best research and the best stimulus I've had. Really, really enjoyed
That's
it.
amazing. Even myself, I learned a lot, because just following you, uh, we share that just a little small part of the trip. But I have to tell you, it's very difficult to beat you even in riding a car. Because I have to tell you, where's Chris? Chris is already in the bike since, I don't know, 4 hours ago. So even where driving a car, that's difficult to be on your tail, really.
That
How tough.
was a good bit. There was a downhill bits.
Yeah. So I had to remember those words that make a very powerful statement in last year. We need action now. We need action now.
Yeah.
How do you feel these words are still um, valid today? Do you think?
To be honest, I actually think action more than ever. I mean, at the time and even now, I am keen on the environment, and those words were pretty much meant for don't give us the bullshit political PowerPoint slideshow shit. Give us action.
Yeah.
Uh, but you now look at since then, which was about this time last year when I started to get more involved in the environment and to plan the bike ride. Uh, then we had the bike ride. Then we had the manifestations, which was about social justice. And that's about don't give me the PowerPoint slideshow, don't give me the words, give me the social change policies.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we've now got a pandemic. And one thing I think the pandemic has given us all time to reflect. I've been, yes, I work, I do a lot of Zoom calls every day, but you've also got time to reflect.
Yeah.
And you think, we have to learn. And if we learn from this virus, from this pandemic, to be honest, it's been worth it. If we don't learn, we deserve it.
Yeah. That's true.
And to learn, it's not just about academically learning, to learn with the actions and the lifestyle transformations that we need. And I don't want to sound too trite, but climate change, social change, pandemic, I can't help but think they're all interrelated. In terms of we as a human society have been too greedy, or we've been growth at any cost, including cost at being stamping on the small little person or stamping on nature, and our global supply chains have given us a pandemic.
Yeah.
And we didn't learn about the climate change. We didn't learn about the manifestations in Chile. Hopefully the manifestations in USA will be more successful. And I think the Chilean ones, the issues have not gone away. And I don't think people's views of them have gone away. Yeah. So the leaders need to learn and take action. And I think this pandemic, I think, has been a real smack in the face. And I'll say for the arrogant West, Europe and America,
sure.
That we have to transform our lifestyle. We have to become more respectful of each other and of nature. And we need policies and actions that do that. So I'm sort of hopeful. And I'm hopeful because I think the younger people, younger than me, and say my kids are 24 and 22, that generation deserves change. They will have to pick up the bill of the climate problems and now the virus problems. And the trillions of dollars they have to pay for. So they should have a say in how to change society to prevent this happening and to change it with actions.
Yeah, it's impossible not to believe it's this like a test drive. So we can really live in a different way. We can slow down a little bit, and as you know, I imagine how the emissions across the world lower the numbers in incredible way.
Yeah, we're coming down to the PowerPoint slideshow and not action. I mean, granted, we've all stayed locked down for the last 10 weeks. Emissions have dropped, but that's temporary.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is we've seen the benefit of it. We can see Mount Everest from Nepal. We can breathe in Santiago because there's no cars around, and same for London. So we've felt the benefits. But will we go back to driving our cars? Or will we get action, change policies that says, if you've got a great big SUV and you live in La Deza, you can't go into Santiago. You've got to pay a lot of money. You've got to pay a congestion charge to do that. Will we put those policies in to protect what we gained from the pandemic? Or will we just ignore it? I believe it's now been big enough that we will make change. And again, I see positive signs in Europe. I don't see much positivity in America at the moment. But I think the fact that the people are fighting for social justice, I think those same people are also interested in climate justice. I think, so I feel as though the voices are now being heard.
Yeah, and don't you think there is a relationship between the financial goals and equality and quality of living in the world? Because what I'm detecting here is because the business models cannot support themselves anymore in the way they were running for years. Maybe they would change. And maybe it's an opportunity to make those changes in relationship with what the people really need.
And I think again, I look at what's happened. Let's take now virtually every industry you could name has been decimated in the last 12 weeks.
Of course.
So whether you're in Chile, Europe, or USA, the government will have to put billions of dollars into reviving the economy. Now, shouldn't the governments say, they have to think, which industries do we want to save? Which are the industries for the future? They should ask the younger people who are being educated for the industries of the future, and they should ask the younger people who want to live in the future and pay the debts off that they are going to pay. And those industries surely have to be sustainable industries for health, security, and the planet and nature. And therefore, the first thing the government should ask any industry before it bails it out is, do you have a carbon neutral plan for the next 10 years? If you do, great. We'll consider supporting you. If you don't, you're going to die and you're going to go bust. So the governments have got a great tool to save the right industries. Which industries have a carbon neutral plan
let's
by
say
2030?
Let's say it's like a natural selection in some way.
Yeah. And, there are other sustainable ways you can do it, but every industry should be working. COP25, which was cancelled in Chile and ended up being in Spain, was about getting industries to sign up and governments for carbon neutral. Okay, if I'm going to bail you out, Latin American Airlines or the copper mines or the agriculture or the fisheries, where's your carbon neutral plan?
Yeah.
By 2030. It's a great tool. And I think a lot of the bigger investment organizations, investment houses, are thinking like that because they suffered financially on the pandemic. There will be other pandemics caused by either climate change or viruses. And therefore they need to protect. And therefore they need sustainable industries. So I think it could be a great opportunity, but we need the political leadership to be able to do it.
Oh, that's a work in progress, I think. it's still taking some time to change people's minds here and all over the world. But the good news is we're more open to things.
I mean, the 5 years I lived in Chile, it did change. I mean, even I felt in 5 years that there was change. The climate, Extinction Rebellion, Futures for Friday, COP25, which didn't occur. They were messages of change, and even the dark side were at least listening to some of the messages. Now, what we need now, not listening, we need action.
Yeah.
The other part which you've got to take hope in, the climate, going back 12 months, if you remember, there were some climate marches in Santiago, attracted 30, 40, 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Then you had the manifestations, not the violent side, but where 1 million people were there for social change. Leaders have to listen to that. Yeah. And if they don't listen, they have to be voted out. But, around the world, and it's not just Chile, we need leaders with a vision that says the world has to be more equitable. It has to be more fair for both all members of society and for all the participants in biodiversity as well.
Okay. Finally, Chris, I know you are a very busy man. Just a few words for the people who is reinventing themselves in this on this situation, even finding new careers. What you can tell these people who is in the search for something new? Let's say something that can be a great advice from you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to. Yeah, I think you've got to use this time to think. What do you want? What are you passionate about? Then you've got to think, how can you combine your passion into doing something good? Because the one good thing about what we've talked about, the world is changing, and when the world changes, the small, passionate person can fit and deliver products and services much better than the big old-fashioned oil industries or airline industries. And the world now needs innovation, and it needs a different way of looking at things. And I think that's where, and there's money around because the governments are going to be investing in jobs and industry. make a play. What do you want to do? Make it happen. And that, I think, is a terrific opportunity for all the people that have got those ideas and have got the passion and the energy. The world will transform, and the old dinosaurs will have to go away, and that leaves room and space for the innovative, sustainable people to come along and with some great ideas to save humanity and to save the planet.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much, Chris. It was a pleasure to have you, and hope you are doing good in Colombia, and you're changing the industry for good.
No, I'm learning about myself in lockdown as well. I can't deny it's a time for self-reflection as well. I had 60 days on the bike, but I've got to say, Colombian people, they seem really terrific people. So I'm really looking forward to the challenge here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, take care, Roy. All the best. Good talking.
Bye.
Goodbye.